Hi there, it's Rochelle Cinco, and I'm going to show you how to create this elegant elephant paper art. Beautiful artwork for a nursery or a young child's room using your Cricut. First, you want to make sure you have the file downloaded from RochelleCinco.com's design library. And here, I'm going to show you how to upload this all the way through assembly. So first, let's upload the file into Design Space. Browse it from your computer. Hit open. Label the tag. Then hit save. Then you're going to upload the image by hitting Insert Images. It's a fairly large file, so we'll have that note up there, so don't be alarmed by it. Now here you can go ahead and change the dimensions of your elephant. However, I highly recommend that you do not go lower than the current settings that I have. And there's a very good reason for that. There are tiny pieces or elements in this artwork that you don't really want to go too small, because it means that there will be tearing of your paper. I'm going to show you here a small piece like this. You can't go lower than this. It's too tiny, and what's going to happen is it causes problems with the quality of your cut. But I'm going to show you how we can get around it shortly. But for now, let's go through the layers and understand them, how I've grouped the different elements of this piece. At the very top is the right ear of the elephant. Let me show you that to hide this. And then one below is its left ear, and the rest is its body. So let's go ahead and hide all the leaves so that we can see the body more. From here, we're going to resize the body itself. Of course, the tail has to be attached. Let's say you want it at 7 by 7 because you have that 9 by 9 shadow box and you really want to use it. So let's go ahead and do that. And then here, let's see if the tail looks fine. And it looks like it is. So this is the most crucial part because the tail has the smallest elements. And as you reveal the left and right ear, it looks very full. You can certainly leave it as is, because remember, these are all separate pieces and you can just position them within the size of the ear and you should be okay without resizing any of these leaves, which really is a reason why I didn't want you to go smaller. So if you go this route, I think you'll be okay. And looking at these 3 elements on the left ear, it looks like it's totally fine. I mean, the size is just perfect for a 7 by 7. So this is pretty much what I would do if you want to go lower. Don't resize everything all at once. You'll have to do exactly what I just did earlier and you'll be fine. Next is let's go to Color Sync. And here I wanted to show you the different colors that are being used for this project. There's a light gray, there's a medium, and the dark gray for the shadow. Here's the body, and of course pink for the cheeks. And we'll go ahead and print, and that's how simple it is. Now here there's going to be a lot of pieces that you need to cut for your leaves section. So you can either go at 12 by 24 or just use whatever mat you have. I typically use a green mat for this and it works well. Just make sure it has a lot of stickiness, otherwise it will be a problem. Or if it's totally brand new, you need to break into them. So yeah, that is pretty much it and you're ready to print. Like most of my intricate Cricut projects, I always stress on the importance of sharp blade. In fact, I ran out of a sharp blade for my fine point blade. That's why you see that I'm using a deep point blade here. And let me just show you the difference between a sharp blade and a dull blade. Assembly. You'll need the brush, the parts that you need to put together. For the smaller pieces, I always make sure that they are in tiny bags so that I don't lose them, and I highly recommend that you do the same. This time around, I decided to use a Podge Glue, and it worked very well with the brush, specifically in the small, intricate leaves that you have to put together. And of course, my favorite industrial double-sided tape. I did not have her use my mounting tape, but if you choose to do so, feel free to do that if you want to elevate some of the parts of the elephant. We start with the silhouette of the elephant. I prefer to use the tape over the glue because it's just so much cleaner and easier to use. If you don't have it, that's okay. Use the glue, but sparingly. And right here is the elephant and its trunk. Now you'll notice I don't glue everything down, not just yet, and there's a good reason for that. I'm going to go ahead and add the shadow. It is exactly right here. I'm going to pause it right here because it's important that you don't glue the trunk down, otherwise you won't be able to do this. You just have to align it with the bottom of the elephant and the end of the shadow, and you'll do the same thing for the left front foot, and just make sure you elevate it a little. And here I start using the glue to add that little shadow in and just insert it right there. And now we start with our little intricate parts, starting with a leaf on the right ear. Now, here I'm going to tell you the best way to do this is to start with the largest pieces. So when you're working on this, just try to group them all based on sizes. So there are 3 sizes. I have the large, the medium, and the small. And you'll notice that I'm applying the glue using the brush, and it's absolutely great for it. Now, as we go through this video, you'll notice that I'm going to change my tactic with how I'm gluing this. Right now, I'm just applying it to all of the leaves and just making sure that they're securely placed on the elephant's ear. But as I change it and I go through the smaller pieces, like in this case, I call this the medium-sized ones, I am now just gluing at the very top of it. To obtain that fluffy look, leave most of the ends unglued because it allows the leaves to be a little suspended as opposed to being matted down. Now this encourages casting shadows on the layers below, so don't be afraid to stack the layers thinking that you might run out, because you can always go back to Design Space and cut more. I've also made use of the other end of the brush, taking advantage of its long handle to push down the smaller sections during the gluing process. So we'll continue to add the layers onto our right ear. The fluffier it is, the cuter it looks, as long as you do not overwhelm the focal point, which is the face of the elephant. And you notice here that I'm adding some that's closer to the eye. As long as I don't cover it, I'm okay. You might also observe the location of the smallest pieces. I think they look better bunched up at the very top of the ear. Just think of it as a ponytail. So all the layers, they gradually get shorter as they get to the top. This is a good example of why it's good not to glue everything down. You're able to lift some of these leaves up and insert bigger pieces if you need to. Now it's time to move on to the other ear. Here, you're going to apply the exact same technique as we did with the right ear. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up this part of the film. While I was conscious about the amount of time I was spending during filming the assembly phase, I must say it took me about 30 minutes to put this all together, so it wasn't that long. Now it's time to put on the eyes. Instead of an itty-bitty white circle, which in photography we call it the catch line, to add a little bit more life into the elephant's eyes, I decided to go this way, which I think would be a lot easier for a lot of the users to put together. Now we are almost there. It's time for the tail. There is a piece that's different from all the other leaves that I have used, and it's this couple of straight pieces. What you're going to do is you're going to put it across the tail and then use the curved ones sort of like a parentheses around the tail itself. And then it's done. We now have a tail. And let's go ahead and just glue it down here. All right, time for the last touch. It's the pink cheeks. I figured that it's a good way to break up the gray color or neutral color that's all over the elephant. And it just gives it a little bit more happy look to it. And there you go. Beautiful, isn't it? Enjoy.